Next hour, Republican lawmakers are expected to unveil a plan to replace Obamacare. Senators Bill Cassidy and Susan Collins leading the charge, promising that their proposal would give more power to states, individual states, increase affordable access to insurance, and cover millions who are currently uninsured. But Collins and Cassidy will need to get Republican leadership on board first. With me now to talk about this is Democratic Congressman Steve Cohen. Welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning. So are you open to this replacement plan?
Well, I think if they want to repeal the Affordable Care Act, which helps over 20 million people get insurance and is insurance reform on steroids, they need to have a replacement immediately present, and they don't have a replacement. And it can be improved. There's no question about it. And the wonderful thing is the Republicans didn't talk about having national health care policy at all, other than Mitt Romney in Massachusetts back in the 90s. And now, since President Obama and the Democratic Congress passed Affordable Care Act, they are now wanting to replace it with something. So the Affordable Care Act has caused the Republicans to realize America was the only industrialized country in the world without a health policy for all of its people. We will have a health policy, I presume, or they will suffer greatly at the polls. It's important that all people have access to health care.
So do you believe there will actually be a plan to replace Obamacare, or will they make it seem like it's a new plan, but they'll just fix what's wrong with Obamacare?
Well, I don't know what they're going to come up with. They're going to have a problem. They say they like, and I think all Americans like, not having pre-existing conditions prohibit you from getting insurance. Most Americans like not having lifetime caps or yearly caps on your insurance. And women who, of course, participated in a historic march the other day can't be discriminated against because of their gender. And children could stay on their parents' health insurance for the 26. If the Republicans like these things and want to continue them, and the American people do, they're going to have revenue to do it because it costs money. There's just an equation. It's just like when you have, if you have coverage, you have to have corresponding premiums. And if you don't have a subsidy, which we've had, you've got to find some other method to pay for it. And nothing happens for free. And I don't know if the Republicans can do that. There's a certain group there in the Freedom Caucus that won't vote for any additional expense or any additional revenue measures. And so it's going to be difficult for the Republicans to do it. And certainly they can't do it without Democratic help.
Well, we'll see what this new plan, we'll see what this specifically entails a little later today. I wanted to talk to you about the huge number of protesters who crowded into the mall, the huge numbers of women marching across the country. There was so much energy and passion there. And a lot of people are today wondering if that will continue or if it was just a one-off. What do you think?
I think it'll continue. I participated in the march in Memphis. We had about 9,000 people. I was very emotional about it because I haven't seen such a turnout since the civil rights days. And people were very concerned, and they want to express themselves, and they did it well here in Memphis. We ended at the National Civil Rights Museum, where unfortunately Dr. King was slain. The women of this country are in jeopardy. The bill tomorrow, which is the 44th anniversary of Roe v. Wade, the Republicans are bringing a bill that would threaten women having an opportunity to get abortion coverage and even private insurance. And they're going to try to do so much in this bill to limit women's rights and not to take into consideration the health of a woman. One of the first initiatives of this administration apparently is going to be to repeal the violence against women grants. And that's been an important provision in federal law to help states protect women who've had violence.
If those things happen, what would you like to see from these people who protested so passionately over the weekend?
They need to stay active. They need to protest in Washington and other places when these events occur, because I think the president is very concerned about his ratings, and his ratings will be going down even more than the 34% who approve him now. They need to write letters to the editor. They need to be involved in social media and try to get the truth out. There are not alternative facts. There are truths. There are lies. Sometimes they're spin, but alternative facts don't exist. There's no such things. I think sometimes we're in an alternative universe. And it's a scary situation, but they need to try to set the truth, put the truth out there on social media and letters to the editor, and they need to register as many people to vote as possible, and they need to be involved in NGOs that are going to help people with Planned Parenthood or ACLU or Southern Poverty Law Center or Sierra Club, who will be going to court and taking actions like the gentlemen are right now because of the terrible ethical breaches that are occurring now, threatening the Emoluments Clause of the Constitution. The conflicts of interest with the Trump family are great. And right now, I think with what we're doing, we're putting China first, Russia right up there with them, and we're third. We're not in first place. We're not America first. We're putting Russia and China ahead. I'm concerned for America's perspective in the international community, where we've been a leader in advocating for human rights and democracy, and we need to continue doing that.
I have to leave it there, sir. Congressman Steve Cohen, thanks so much for being with me this morning.